Morning, all of you. Today I will discuss about the subject of pharmacy practice and unit second. The topic is medication adherence. Topic is medication adherence. And first of all, learning objectives. Learning objectives of medical adherence. Upon completion of this topic, upon completion of this topic of students should able to like adherence, the five dimensions of adherence, measuring adherence, methods can improve medication adherence by the pharmacist, role of pharmacist in medication adherence. These are the learning objectives of adherence, medication adherence. Next one, learning outcomes. Learning outcomes of medication adherence. On successful completion of unit, on successful completion of unit, students will be able to students will be able to adherence, the type of the dimensions of adherence, measuring adherence, methods can improve medication adherence by pharmacist, role of the pharmacist in medication adherence. These are the learning objectives of medication adherence. Next one, medication adherence. It is defined as the medication adherence. It is defined as the exact and extent to which a patient's medication taking behavior coincides with the initiation of the health advice he has been given, also known as medication adherence. And medication defined as the exact and extent. Medication adherence is the extent and exact to which a patient medication taking behavior coincides with the initiation of health advice he has been given. Adherence. Adherence defined by the World Health Organization. Defined by the World Health Organization as the extent to which a person behavior in taking medicines correspond with agreed recommendation from a healthcare provider, in which adherence World Health Organization as the extent to which a person behavior in taking medications, also known as adherence by the World Health Organization. The term compliance has come into disfavor. The term compliance has come into disfavor because it suggests that a person is passively followed a doctor order rather than actively collaborating in the treatment process, also known as compliance. Adherence on the other hands, adherence on the other hands require the person agreements to the recommendation for therapy, also known as adherence, and compliance has come into disfavor because it suggests that a person is passively following a doctor orders rather than actively collaborating in the treatment process. Next one, persistent. Persistent is defined as the ability of a person. Persistent is a defined as the ability of a person. Persistent is a ability of a person to continue taking medications for the intent course of therapy. In the case of chronic disease, the appropriate course of therapy may be month, year, or even the person lifetime, also known as persistent. Persistent means in the case of chronic disease, the appropriate course of therapy may be month, year, or even the person lifetime. A person is classified as non-persistent A person is classified as non-persistent if he or she never fill a prescription or stops taking a prescription prematurely. A person is classified as non-persistent if he or she never fill a prescription or stop taking a prescription prematurely. Discussing the intent course of therapy. Discussing the intent course of therapy. When medication are first started, has been shown to be an important factor in keeping people persistent with a medication regimen. These are the persistent medications. And next one, adherence is a multidimensional. Adherence is a multidimensional phenomena. Adherence is a multidimensional phenomena determined by the interplay of five sets of factors. Terms dimension by the World Health Organization. World Health Organization give the dimension for the multidimensional phenomena of adherence. First one, social economic factor. First one, social economic factors. Second one is first one, social economic factor. Second one is provider patients healthcare system factors. Third one is condition related factors. Fourth one is therapy related factors. And fifth one is patient related factors. These are the dimensions for the adherence in multidimensional phenomena. And the five dimensions of adherence. The five dimensions of adherence. First one, social and economic. Second one is healthcare system. Third one is condition related. And fourth one is therapy related. And fifth one is patient related. These are the five dimensions of adherence. These are the five dimensions of adherence. First one, dimension of medication adherence, social and economic dimensions, social and economic dimension, and in which social and economic dimensions, limited English language proficiency, limited English language proficiency. Second one is low health literacy. Third one is lack of family or social support network. And fourth one is unstable living conditions, homelessness. These are the unstable living conditions. Next one is burdenness, burdensome schedules. And sixth one is limited access to healthcare facilities. These are the adherence dimensions of adherence. First one is social and economic dimensions. These are the social and economic dimensions. Next one, lack of healthcare insurance and inability or difficulty assessing pharmacy and medication cost. Next one, cultural and lay belief about illness and treatments. Next one is elder abuse. These are the dimensions of adherence. Second one is healthcare system dimensions. Second one is healthcare system dimensions. First one is provider patient relationship. First one is provider patient relationships. Second one is provider communication skills and contributing to lack of patients knowledge and undertaking of the treatment regimen. And third one is this disparity between the health beliefs of the healthcare providers and those of the patients. This is the healthcare system dimensions. Next one, lack of positive reinforcements from the healthcare providers. And next one is weak capacity of the systems to educate patients and provide follow-up. And next one is lack of knowledge on adherence and of effectiveness interventions for improving it. These are the health dimensions. And the next one is patient information material. Patient information material written at two high literally levels. And next one, restricted formularies, changing medications covered in formularies. And next one is high drug costs and copyments of both. And next one is poor access or missed appointments. And next one is long wait times. And next one is lack of continuity of care. These are the health dimensions. Next one is condition related dimensions. Condition related dimensions. First one, chronic conditions. Second one is lack of symptoms. Third one condition is severity of symptoms. Fourth one is depressions. Fifth one condition is psychotic disorders. Next one condition is mental retardation and development disability conditions. These are the condition related dimensions. Therapy related dimensions. Next one is next one dimension is therapy related dimensions, in which first is complexity of medicines regimen in number of daily dose, number of concurrent medications, and second one is treatments requires mastery of certain techniques like injections, inhalers. These are the techniques of therapy related dimensions. And next one is duration of therapy. And next one is frequent changes in medication regimen and lack of immediate benefits of therapy. And next one is medication with social stigma attached to use. These are the therapy related dimensions. Next one, actual or perceived unpleasant side effects. And next one, trans treatments interfere with lifestyle or require significant behavior changes. These are the therapy related dimensions. Last one dimension is patient related dimensions, in which patient related dimension first is physical factors like visual impairments, hearing impairments, cognitive impairments, impaired mobility and dexterity, swelling problems. These are the patient related dimensions, in which patient related dimension identify the and diagnose the visual impairments, hearing impairments, cognitive impairments, impaired mobility or dexterity, swelling problems. These are the patient related dimensions. Next one, psychological and behavioral factors. Psychological and behavioral factors. First one, psychological and behavioral factor is knowledge about disease. Second one factor is perceived risk susceptibility to disease. Third one factor is understanding reason medication is needed. And fourth one factor is expectation or attitude towards treatment. And fifth one is perceived benefits of treatments. And sixth one factor is confidence in ability to follow treatments regimens. These are the psychological behavioral factors. Next one is motivation. Next one, fear or possible advice effect factors, and fear and dependence factors. Next one is feeling stigmatized by the disease factors. Next one, frustrations with healthcare providers factors, psychological stress, anxiety, angers, alcohol or substance uses, abuse. These are the these are the psychological and behavioral factors. These are the psychological behavior factors. Next one is measuring adherence. In which measuring adherence, there are several ways to measure medication adherence. First one is medication event monitoring system. First one is medication event monitoring system. MEMS. MEMS means medication event monitoring system. MEMS means medication event monitoring system. These are the most accurate method for measuring adherence. The most accurate method for measuring of adherence is MEMS, medication event monitoring system, because they record the date and time the medication, because they record the date and time medication bottle was opened through micro pressure technology and embed in the cap. So most accurate method for the measuring adherence is medication event monitoring system. And advantages with microprocessors. Advantages of microprocessor. First one, erroneous, not faith false, because patients may remove more than one dose. Advantages with microprocessors. Erroneous, not faith false, because patient may remove more than one dose. And second one advantage is very expensive. Second one advantage is very expensive and different devices are needed for each medications. Second one advantage is very expensive and different devices are needed for each medications. Third one advantage is therefore it is an impractical. Second one, third one advantage is impractical way to determine adherence in clinical practice. These are the advantages of microprocessor. Second one, second one measuring adherence is patient self-reports. Patient self-report is easiest method. When adherence is being assessed, open-ended questions should be asked. And instead of asking, are you taking your medications? The HCP should purchase the questions along the lines of how many times in the past week, months have you skipped your medications? Third one, pills counts. Fourth one, pharmacy database or refill rates. And fifth one is blood levels, which also are employed in researchers are more feasible options for clinical practice. And sixth one is Morrissey medication adherence scale, MMAS. MMAS means Morrissey medications adherence scale. It was designed to distinguish poorly adherent patients from those with medium to high adherence to their antihypertensive regimen. MMAS consists of questions addressing multiple reasons for non-adherence. Example, because Rizamine complexity can lead to non-compliance. Because Rizamine complexity can lead to non-compliance. The scale contain equations assessing whether the patient feels hazards, trouble times about his or her Rizamine. Next one. Since patients tends to give their HCP, hospital care patients positive answers, please them. The questions in Moriskai's study were pursued to avoid his bias. Each questions measure a specific medication taking. Each questions measure a specific medication taking behaviors rather than adherence or compliance behaviors. Table 1, Morisky medication adherence scale, in which first one, do you sometimes forget to take your high blood pressure pills? Second one is, over the past 2 weeks, Morisky medication is adherence school, in which forget the take your high blood pressure pills. Second one is, over the past 2 weeks, where there are days that you did not take your high blood pressure medications. Over the past 2 weeks, were there any days that did not take your high blood pressure medications? And third one is, have you ever cut back or stop taking your medications without telling your doctor because your felt worse when you took it? And fourth one is, when you travel or leave home. When you travel or leave home, do you sometimes forget to bring your medications during the travel and leave home? Sometimes forget to bring your medications. And next one is, did you take your high blood pressure medications yesterday? Did you take your high blood pressure medications yesterday? And when you feel that your blood pressure is under control, when you feel that your blood pressure is under control, do you sometimes stop taking your medications? When you feel blood pressure is under control, to stop taking your medications, do you sometimes stop taking your medications? Next one, taking medications every day is a real inconvenience for some peoples. Do you ever feel hazards about sticking to your blood pressure treatments? And next one is, at how often do you have difficulty remembering to take your blood pressure medications? These are the Morisky medication adherence scale. Methods can improve medications. Methods can improve medications. Adherence by pharmacist. What methods improve the medication adherence by pharmacist? First one, use kitchen table consults. Use kitchen table consults. Second one is, improve pharmacy workflow. Second one is, improve pharmacy flow workflow. Third one is, third one method is, simplify patient's medications. Fourth one method is, identify reason for medication non-adherence. And fifth one method for improve medication adherence by pharmacist is, ask patients specific questions about their medications. These are the methods for improve medication adherence by pharmacist. And pharmacists play most important role in improve medication adherence. Role of the pharmacist. Role of the pharmacist in medication adherence. Many types of role of the pharmacist in medication adherence. First one, while medication dispensing is the best known function of the pharmacist, the best known function of pharmacist is medication dispensing. Medication dispensing, and pharmacists through counseling, medication therapy, and managements. Medication therapy managements. MTM. MTM means medication therapy management. Next one, disease state managements. DSM. DSM means disease state managements, and other means can play a vital role in patient care. The pharmacist, medication dispensing is the best known function of pharmacist, like counseling, medication therapy management, disease state management, and other means play a vital role in patient care. These are the role of the pharmacist in medication adherence. Pharmacists are a unique position. Pharmacists are a unique position to improve medication adherence. Pharmacists are a unique position to improve medication adherence because they can actually show the medications to the patient and relate any information to the medication itself. So, unique position to improve medication adherence by the pharmacist because they can actually show the medication to the patient and relate any information to the medication itself. And pharmacists often provide verbal education. Pharmacists often provide verbal education and written individualized information for the patient. All the benefits for these strategies alone are unicellular. Pharmacists provide verbal education and written individualized information for the patient, and benefits of the studies alone are unicellular. A few studies, a few studies provides evidence of level or improved patient medication adherence as a result of patient education given by pharmacies. The few studies provide evidence of levels or improved patient medication adherence and patient education given by the pharmacy. McDonald studies the effect of patient education. McDonald studies the effect of patient education by pharmacists on medication adherence in post-discharge medications, which demonstrate a clear benefits in the patients receiving education from pharmacists. Receiving education from pharmacists. The McDonald studies that affect the patient education, affect the patient education by pharmacists on medication adherence in post-discharge patients, which demonstrate a clear benefits in the patient receiving education from pharmacists. In a unpublished study, in a unpublished study by author, clear benefits was demonstrated in the randomized control trials in both asthma and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease patients with a follow-up period of 2 months in improving medication adherence, along with the inhalation techniques following pharmacist-based educational interventional programs. The demonstrate in randomized control trials in both asthma and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Patients with a follow-up period of 2 months in improving medication adherence with along with the inhalation techniques following pharmacist-based educational interventional programs. It was interesting to note. It was interesting to note that the improvement in the inhalation techniques and continued with each educational sittings. It was interesting to note that the improvement in the inhalation techniques and continued with each educational sittings. The patient received both oral education and written education in the local language. Both written and oral education received by the patient and about their disease, needs for regular medications and importance of each medications, need for regular medication and the importance of each medication in a educational programs lasting 45 minutes in each sittings. These are the role of pharmacist in medication adherence. The information, the information that patients needs to know which pharmacist can impart includes the information that patients needs to know which pharmacist can impart includes like name and purpose of the drug, name and purpose of the drug, when and how to take the medicine, and possible side effects, precautions, interactions with food and other drugs, duration of therapy, actions to take if a dose is missed, how to tell if the medication is working or not working. These are the information that patients needs to know which pharmacist. The information required to patient by the pharmacist like name and purpose of the drug, when and how to take the medicine, medications, possible side effects, precautions, interaction with food or other drugs, duration of therapy, actions to take if as dose is missed, how to tell if the medication is working or not working. There are opportunities in every type of pharmacy practice. There are opportunity in every type of pharmacy practice to improve patient adherence and therapeutic outcomes, and pharmacist must embrace and act on them. The pharmacist is there are opportunities in every type of pharmacy practice for the improved patient adherence and therapeutic outcomes, and pharmacist must embrace and act on them. Patient first one, patient education. Second one is dosing simplification and minimization of adverse effect. Second one is dosing simplification and minimizing of adverse effect are extremely successful strategy for improving adherence. And third one is preparing a dosing card. Preparing a dosing card containing only the most essential elements. Preparing a dosing card containing only the most essential elements of the patient medications can be highly beneficial. It can be extremely helpful for patients who take many medications or who have cognitive barriers. These are the like patient education. Second one is dosing simplification and minimizing of adverse effects are extremely successful strategy for improving adherence. And third one is preparing a dosing card containing only the most essential elements of the patient medications can be highly beneficial. It can be extremely helpful for patients who take many medications or who have cognitive barriers. This is a dosing card. This is a dosing card for a patient. These are the dosing card. Next one, reminder calls, texts, or emails are helpful for many patients. Reminder calls, text messages, or emails are helpful for many patients, especially those with busy lifestyle, and automatic refill are used strategy. In which busy lifestyle, many types of reminders like calls, text messages, and emails are helpful for many patients, especially those with busy lifestyle. Automatic refills are useful strategy in the medication adherence. In the medication adherence. Next one. Whatever the barriers, whatever the barriers to adherence, maybe two only way to assess them it's told to the patients. Whatever the barriers to adherence, maybe the only way to assess them it is to talk to the patients. The pharmacist need to be diligent, pay attention about including the patients in the treatment experience. The pharmacist needs to the diligence, pay attention about including the patients in the treatment of disease. The more trust the patients, the more trust the patients has in the pharmacist. Patients are trusted in the on the pharmacist. The more he or she will open up and disclose any appreciations or difficulties about taking his or her medications. Only then can the pharmacist play an integral role in improving a patient adherence. The most important role of pharmacist in medication adherence, by the more trust the patient has in the pharmacist, the more he is she will open up the disclose any apprehensions and difficulties about taking his or her medications. Only then can the pharmacist play an integral role in improving patient adherence. Next one is references for the medication adherence, like first hospital pharmacy by Williamson E. Hassans, JR 5th education, page number 124 to 153. And second one references is a textbook of pharmacy practice by KZ Ravi Kumar, BD Maglani, and first edition, page number 82. And third one reference is Reg Remington's The Science and Practice of Pharmacy, 21st edition, volume second, and page number 2259. And fourth one references is Merchant and Quadrias textbook of hospital pharmacy, and page number is 3925350. These are the references of medication patient medication adherence. And next one is multiple choice questions. Multiple choice questions for medication adherence. The first one question is the extent to which a patient act in accordance with the prescribed interval and dose of dosing regimen is termed as. Option A is adherence, option B is compliance, option C is concordance, option D is persistent. The right answer is A, adherence. Adherence, the extent to which a patient act in accordance with the prescribed interval and dose of dosing regimen is termed as a adherence. The right answer is A, adherence. Next one question. The most studies adherence is defined as taking or more of the prescribed medications, thus more optimal therapeutic efficiency. The most studies adherence is defined as taking or more of the prescribed medications, those for optimal therapeutic efficiency. The option A is 70%, option B is 75%, and option C is 80%, and option D is 85%. The right answer is B, 75%. In most studies, adherence is defined as taking 75% or more of the prescribed medicines, thus for optimal therapeutic efficiency. Next one, taking prescription. Taking prescription medication correctly is called what? Option A is medication adverseness. Option B is medication adherence. Option C is medication avoidance. And option D is medication attentiveness. The right answer is medication adherence. And taking prescription medication correctly is called medication adherence. And next one question. The extent to which a part act in accordance. The extent to which a part act in accordance with the prescribed interval and dose of its dosing regimen is termed as option A is adherence, option B is compliance, option C is concordance, and option D is persistent. The right answer is A, adherence. The extent to which a patient act in accordance with the prescribed interval and dose of a dosing regimen is termed as adherence. Next one question, taking prescription medications correctly is called option A is medication adverseness, option B is medication adherence, option C is medication avoidance, and fourth one is medication attentiveness. The right answer is B, medication adherence. And next one question, the extent to which a patient act in accordance with the prescribed interval and dose of a dosing regimen is termed as option A is adherence, option B is compliance, and option C is concordance, and option D is persistent. The right answer is A. The extent to which a patient act in accordance with the prescribed interval and dose of a dosing regimen is termed as right answer is A, adherence. Thank you. Thank you all of you for a wonderful session.